So, guys, this is my review for JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Season 1, Episode number 11. And with that, guys, let's dive into it. So, yeah, Strayzo. This definitely was an interesting, very, very interesting episode, guys. I really enjoyed it. But like I said, it was just really interesting how like Strayzo was, and even like JoJo was being portrayed here in this episode. The titled episode was called "The Game Master," and it was basically like they were, they were. It was basically like they were like saying to one. They were definitely saying to one another, but it was like they were trying to one up each other. That's basically that's what I'm trying to say. They were trying to one up each other because JoJo kept, Strayzo would do something, and JoJo would counter it with something else, and then Strayzo would counter with something else. But it was crazy though because like JoJo, it was it was like when they were in here in this diner and blowing, attacking each other and stuff like that. Like Strayzo used the same attack that Dio used. Dio. I mean, that Dio used, and Strayzo was basically saying like, Dio was doing this kind of idiotic of him to do. So I'm doing it way better than him by just starting out like this and using the laser attack from his eyes, in which I thought he connected to hitting JoJo in the neck and then the head, right? But at the same time, it was just like JoJo was saying, like, well, you're wondering why I'm like this and blah blah blah. Like, how am I still alive? But it was like he was just basically saying, like, well, I'm standing here, but I'm really not standing here because there's this mirror type of thing. And it was just really just like crazy, like how they were just like trying to one up each other. But at the same time, like JoJo was so quick with his hands that he had attached those bombs to Strayzo and blew his entire body up. But at the same time, we see that Strayzo was able to regenerate himself, kind of like Piccolo from DBZ. And I was just sitting back, just like watching and like cracking up at all of this stuff because it just seemed like it seemed cool to see, but at the same time, it was just like funny to me. It was just like, yo, like one moment it seemed like JoJo was off the hook. Next moment it seemed like he doesn't. Same thing with Strayzo, blah blah blah. And then we find out that that of course that he does indeed, like I said, he survives the explosion. And I was thinking like JoJo was saying to Smokey, he was like, yeah, I've come up with these various plans, but I got this other one here. Smokey's like, what's the plan? And he's like, yeah, look at his legs, they're not regenerating as quickly, so I have this huge plan to do. And in the back of my mind, I'm sitting here thinking, before he even said it, way before he said it, I'm like, he's more than likely gonna start running. But when he didn't, I was like, oh, I guess he's not gonna run yet. But like I said, when he was like, you see his legs, they're not regenerating yet, blah blah blah. Well, here's our chance. And Smokey was like, what's this plan? He was like, let's get out of here. And they dipped out, they started running, they bounced, they started running. I was cracking up. I was just like I said, this section here was just, it was cool, but it was like comical too. So it was just like I was just cracking up at their interactions between each other. But then the main spot is just basically talking about where once the reporter lady pops up and was taking pictures of the area, and Strayzo was hanging from the side of the building right in front of her, but she didn't notice him, and he drops down behind her, and she's like, somebody's behind me. He grabs her. Originally, I was thinking that he was gonna like attack her and suck her blood, stuff like that, to gain some strength, but that wasn't the case. He was using her as a hostage. He was able to catch up to JoJo and Smokey on the bridge there in the middle of the episode here, and then that's when they once again go back and forth trying to basically like one up each other because Strayzo's saying like, she's my hostage, I'll hurt her, blah blah blah, and if I need you to come near me Otherwise, I'll kill her. And JoJo's like, I'm not gonna do anything about this. I wouldn't do this. Like he said, like, what did he say? I'm not gonna do anything because she's a hag. Blah blah blah. Even if she wasn't, and she was my girl, I still wouldn't do anything. But Straizo's like, look, I'm just gonna do it, and he did it. He pulled a tooth out of her mouth, and that's what literally gets JoJo to go up there and like kind of like race. Because like I said in my review of episode 9, like JoJo the third here, he has some anger issues, and more than likely he gets it from his father and mother, because I doubt that he gets it from his grandfather and Arena, his grandmother. I doubt that he gets that anger issue from them. So it has to come from his mother and father, one of the two, right? So, there's that. So that's where his rage comes into play. And, of course, he lets, Straizo lets the young lady go. And we see that, I see that Straizo tries to use the laser attack again. But JoJo came prepared with some Harmon glasses. That's what he said. And he used them to redirect one of the blasts, but the other one did indeed connect on JoJo's right shoulder. So, but it did hit Straizo in the head and knocked him over, but it didn't kill him. But at the same time, JoJo, because he was so upset at what occurred, he was able to use a Harmon attack on Straizo to be able to hit him in the face. You basically take out his left eye. I found it interesting that he let him fall. Well, he caught him, because Straizo goes over the bridge, but he caught him. I found it strange that not so much strange, but when he did it, I was sitting back like, oh, okay. Sort of kind of just like, his grandfather would do, basically tried to do with Dio, but this time it actually worked where he was able to do it here. Two generations later, he's actually able to save, his enemy, and I was just sitting back like, wow, like, okay, cool, that's what's up, but at the same time, full on shocker, because I was sitting there thinking that Straizo, just like Dio, was going to be a mainstay enemy for at least a few episodes, 4 or 5 episodes for the rest of the season, but that's not the case, because a couple of things we find out that Straizo mentions the Pillar Man, basically the name of the person who is attached to that tree back at that spot that back in episode 9 that Speedwagon had taken Straizo to at the beginning of episode 9, last episode. We found out that per this information, that Pillar Man, that's his current name, the Pillar Man, that they claimed him to be, where the masks and stuff come from too. That we found out that the people that Straizo killed, the roots of the Pillar Man's branches were sucking the blood, so it was feeding the Pillar Man's body, basically. So he was basically telling JoJo, like, you're gonna find out who the Pillar Man is. You know what I mean? You're gonna experience basically true pain and all of this stuff. I'm nothing compared to this guy. That's basically what he's telling JoJo. So I'm like, okay, because I literally said in my review yesterday on episode 9, like, I thought that quote unquote this Pillar Man was going to be somebody who was going to be coming along, maybe this season or next season, maybe later on in the episodes. But Pillar Man might be showing up in episode 12 when I sit down to watch it, or episode 13. So it seems to me like Pillar Man's coming quicker than I was expecting. So interesting stuff there. And we also found out that Speedwagon survived. Straizo said that he killed him, but that's not the case. Speedwagon is alive and well, sort of, but these German guys, they got him strapped up in like in a straitjacket. But then they use these hostages that they have to basically feed the Pillar Man, where they went to the place, the leader, Stroheim, I think that's his last name, went to these hostages and said, we're going to sacrifice one to save the rest. And the little boy says, I'll step in to sacrifice to save everybody. you're gonna do that, right? And he was like, yeah, you know, blah blah blah. Thank you for your courage. Kill everybody else except for the little boy. It's just like, damn, son. I had a feeling that something was not right with his suggestion in the first place when he said to them, you know, we're gonna kill everybody excuse me, we're gonna kill one of you and save everybody else. Like, let everybody else get out of here, set free. That wasn't the case. Like I said, I just didn't trust him when he said that. And of course, they feed the roots of the Pillar Man's branches again at the very end of this episode. So, all in all, very funny episode. I want to say, for the most part, I did indeed enjoy it. The anime just keeps getting better, definitely. I was just like, just cracking up at some of the stuff that was going on between JoJo and JoJo the Third and Strayzo here in episode 11. But yeah, guys, enjoyed it a lot, and I'm looking forward to watching episode 12 to come. But with that, leave some comments in the comment section below. What did you all think of episode 11 when we first sat down to watch it for the first time from season 1? Let's talk about some things. But with that, I will hopefully talk to you all next time with more JoJo's Bizarre Adventure videos. Peace, guys.